Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy the video. If you do, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe as well. And hit the bell notification for all future videos if you'd like to do so. Today I will be doing the top 25 directors challenge presented by Huck over at Huck's Pops Culture Cafe. I struggled big time on this one. I've said that before on a lot of these challenges, but I am basically like running out of movies to pull. I struggled finding, I found 25 directors pretty easy, but I just really struggled trying to find movies that I didn't already pull and that I already either own or have laying out, because a lot of my movies are boxed up, unfortunately. So I struggled. There's a few directors I either was going to overlap titles and pull the same one or leave them off the list. One director, I pulled two of his titles during the A through Z challenge, so I just couldn't either. I had to leave him off the list or pull his title again. I didn't want to cheat and do that, so there's a few I will mention at the end that I had to leave off the list. But let me go ahead and get into it. Some of the picks, a lot of the picks may surprise you, but this is subjective and it's my list. So yeah, let me go ahead and get into it and start with number one director. It's not in any particular order. This is not my favorite director out there. S. Craig Zahler would be my favorite director at the moment for sure. But let me go ahead and start with Starship Troopers. We've got Paul Verhoeven. I really enjoy this movie. He's probably on the lower end of my top 25, but he would be in there. I also like RoboCop, so he's got some good titles out there. But yeah, beautiful steelbook. This is also getting a new 4K steelbook, but we got Starship Troopers. That would be the first one. Next up, we've got Black Hawk Down. I absolutely love this film. It is in my top 3 favorite films of all time. I have to include a war film on there, and Ridley Scott would be definitely in that top 25. Love this movie. I can't get enough of it, so Black Hawk Down would be second choice. Michael Bay would be another choice. We've got 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. I think this is one of his best films he's ever done. Definitely one of them. I think Bad Boys is probably his best movie, but love 13 Hours, Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. Great cast in this one as well. And I would definitely have to include Michael Bay on there. He's got some stinkers, but ultimately, I really like a lot of his movies, so this would definitely be on there. Number 4, we've got the Erwin brothers. I believe, I don't know if it's going to tell me their names. No, not each one of them, but anyways, the Erwin brothers. I am a big fan of all their films. I can only imagine they've got a lot of good ones. All of their films, I'm pretty sure, are biopics. All of them are based on true stories, whether it's about a person or like a sports drama, something like that. But yeah, big fan of the Erwin brothers, and this is in my top 15 favorite films of all time. If you didn't watch my top 15 favorite films of all time list, go check this one out, and you'll see it on there. Next up, we have got Peter Berg in Patriots Day. I am a big fan of Peter Berg. I think he's got some really good films out there. Patriots Day, Deepwater Horizon, The Lone Survivor. So a lot of good ones out there. But yeah, this would definitely be on the list. Peter Berg. Next up, we have got The Departed. Is going to be Martin Scorsese. I am a big fan of Martin Scorsese on some of his films, not every single one. I actually was surprised to see that I haven't seen a ton of his films. I still haven't gotten around to The Irishman yet, and I definitely need to at some point. So I'll probably pick up The Irishman on Criterion during the sale, but then I'll probably watch it on Netflix because it's 4K on Netflix, and the physical media version of it is only Blu-ray, so that's really stupid how they do that. But anyways, yep, gotta own it. So yeah, The Departed, Martin Scorsese, that's a really good one. If I didn't already use Taxi Driver, I would have pulled that, but unfortunately, I already used that one. Next up, we have got Quentin Tarantino in Pulp Fiction. Yeah, you gotta have a list with Quentin Tarantino. I've actually seen all 10 of his films, or is it 11? But yeah, I think 10, it depends on what you want to consider, or it might be 11, and then some people consider Kill Bill and 1 and 2 one film. But yes, big fan of Quentin Tarantino. I think he's got great films. Actually, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood probably be my least favorite of his, and I didn't even mind that film, so it shows that I'm a big fan of Quentin Tarantino. I'm sure everybody's going to have him on their list. This isn't my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, but I do love this one. Django Unchained or The Hateful Eight might be one of my favorites, so it's hard to say. But yeah, there's a couple Tarantinos that I get mixed up when saying things like that. But yeah, next up we've got Henry Alex Rubin. I've only seen 2 of his films, but I love his movies so much, his 2 films that I've seen, so he would absolutely make the cut for me. Semper Fi, this is a great movie. I'm a big fan of it. The last 30 minutes are just heart-stopping and intense, incredible, and they're just amazing. So I'm a big fan of Semper Fi. And then he's also got Disconnect, which if you once again watch my top 15 favorite films of all time, that would definitely be in my top 15, like top 10. So Disconnect and Semper Fi are the 2 films I've seen by him, and I love them both. I really hope he does some more work. Absolutely incredible director. Next up, probably up there with like top 3 favorite directors of all time. I love Clint Eastwood. Actually, out of every director out there, I'm pretty sure I've seen the most films by him. Gran Torino is incredible. There are so many good movies by him that I would absolutely include on there. So Gran Torino's a winner, though. That's a classic. I remember seeing that in theaters and just loving it. Mike Nichols would be up next, probably on the lower echelon of my top 25. But after watching the movie Closer, and I'm a big fan of The Graduate, and Working Girls is really good too. So he would just make the cut. He wouldn't if I actually was able to add the other directors I wanted to. But I'm a big fan of The Graduate. I think this is a really good movie. And yeah, he would be on there. So, all right, next up we have got Alexander Aja. I actually had originally pulled the original Hills Have Eyes for Wes Craven, and I was like, you know what, I gotta have something for Alexander Aja, and Crawl is packed up. I already used Piranha. I don't own High Tension. I need to buy that, so I was like, I'm gonna pull the Hills Have Eyes, but I'm a big fan of his work. I really hope he does a lot more creature features because I think that's great, and it's perfectly in his wheelhouse. But yeah, Alexander Aja for the remake of The Hills Have Eyes. I really like the original, but honestly, I think this one is even better than it. I remember seeing this when I was about 15, 16, and this movie was terrifying. It is so good. I remember watching it in 2006, and I was like, holy cow, this is really good. All right, next up we've got Rennie Harlin, big fan of Cliffhanger. He's got some really good films as well, some other good ones out there. But yeah, Cliffhanger would definitely make the cut. I'm a big fan of Stallone, so it's awesome to have anytime you get Stallone movies on there. That's always a good thing. So Cliffhanger would definitely go on the list. All right, next up we have got The Hate U Give. I'm a big fan of this one. George Tillman Jr. directed this, and George Tillman Jr. is just somebody I love. I absolutely love him. This movie is incredible. It really opened up my eyes. I thought it was a great movie. But he has directed some incredible movies, The Longest Ride, Men of Honor, and the list goes on. I've honestly enjoyed every single one of his movies that I've watched. So The Hate U Give would be on that list. Eli Roth. I already used Knock Knock, The Green Inferno. I like Eli Roth. I think he's pretty crazy. I'm a fan of this movie, kind of a remake of Cannibal Holocaust, if you will. And I thought this one was really good too. So looking forward to checking this one out again at some point, probably pretty soon. I haven't watched the Scream Factory release of it yet, I don't think. But yeah, this one is definitely something I would have on the list with Eli Roth for sure. All right, next up, we've got another Scott brother. This one is going to be Tony Scott. It is Top Gun. Tom Cruise. I really liked the remake, but this is a good one as well. Can't go wrong with Top Gun. You got to have it on the list. Tony Scott's great. He's made in a ton of incredible movies, so I'm a big fan of Top Gun, and yeah, this one would be on that list for sure. All right, James Wan would be next. We've got Saw. You may be seeing this again very soon in another video of mine, but Yeah, Saw is something I'm a big fan of. I am going to be doing a watch along with fans of something later on this month, watching Saw. And it's been a while, and I haven't watched a 4K, and it's been years, so this will be a good one to do a watch along for. I may be paying close attention to it, though, because, like I said, it's been a while. All right. Just did a Carpenter top 5 stream and John Carpenter top 5 rankings, and this would be number 1, Christine. I love Christine. I'm a huge fan of it. I know Tim Talks Talkie. Shout out to him. He's got an awesome horror challenge he's doing this month. Go check out his channel. But this is a good one, and it's one of his favorites. It is his favorite Carpenter film, and it's my favorite Carpenter film as well. So two great minds think alike. But yeah, Christine is a great movie. This movie is just, overall, it's pretty much a masterpiece in my opinion. I think it's Carpenter's best, to be honest with you. Jordan Peele, Get Out. Big fan of Jordan Peele. Nope. Wasn't quite as strong, I don't feel, as Get Out. I actually like Us more than Nope. I haven't even rewatched any of his movies yet, and so they'll be great rewatches because there's something you got to check out twice. But yeah, I'm looking forward to revisiting all 3 of his films at some point. Get Out. Add that to the list. Wes Craven, The Last House on the Left, the original. This movie gets a lot of hate. It's definitely sleazy, sexploitation movie, but I think it's an important film, to be honest with you. It's probably one of the first sexploitation movies out there. I think it's a really good movie, not excellent, but for a directorial debut, I think Wes Craven did a very good job with this movie, coming over from, in case you guys didn't know, he did Porn before he did The Last House on the Left. He directed Porn. So a lot of people said they could see that in this, but I think this is actually quite a good movie. And then he followed it up eventually with The Hills Have Eyes in '77. And like I said, I would have pulled that one, but I had pulled the remake and I didn't want to use 2 of them. So I think this is a good one, The Last House on the Left. It's a beautiful set by Arrow Video. I'm sure it'll get a 4K at some point. Everything's getting a 4K, especially if they already own it and have it in their catalog. So that'll be coming, I'm sure. All right, next up, we've got Neil Marshall and Dog Soldiers. I need to actually get a replacement because of that right there. But yeah, Neil Marshall, The Descent, Doomsday, Dog Soldiers. Big fan of all of them. I guess he's got a thing for naming his movies that the title D, so start with the D. But yeah, I was looking for Doomsday because I wanted to pull that one and I couldn't find it. So I was like, I'm just going to pull Dog Soldiers. And this is a beautiful set by Second Sight. I actually didn't... I watched it. I don't think that the transfer is that great. The way this movie's shot, though, doesn't... I guess it doesn't... help it, if that makes sense. The 4K looks good, but it's not great. I didn't watch Drive yet or anything like that, but I thought The Guest looked incredible, and a couple others from Second Sight. So this one is not something that I thought was the best transfer in the world, but overall I still actually really liked it. But I'm a big fan of this movie. I think Dog Soldiers is great. I just think that the transfer in general could have been a little bit better. But I'm not crazy about that stuff. I think overall I'm happy with 4Ks. It doesn't matter. As long as it plays, I guess, and doesn't look terrible, because I grew up with VHS, so anything looks better than that. Brian De Palma and Carrie. I was looking for The Untouchables, and I can't find my Untouchables steelbook at the moment, so I watched Untouchables this year for the first time. Kevin Costner, Robert De Niro. Big fan of The Untouchables. I'm also a fan of Carrie, the original one. I also like the remake. I need to revisit this. It's been a while. I'm sure this will get a 4K at some point. But yeah, this is a gorgeous steelbook. I got this from Grindhouse Video. And there's the back of it. You don't see too many colors, like I guess yellow-ish. But yeah, you don't see this too often for colors on steelbooks. But yeah, yellow, red, orange looks great. Absolutely love this steelbook. Love that steelbook. And Brian De Palma is absolutely great. He is a great director. So next up, actually, David R. Ellis. I've got Shark Night. I know I'll get some crap about having Shark Night on there or this director, but I like Homeward Bound 2. I like Snakes on a Plane, Final Destination movies that he directed, so I am a big fan of David Ellis. I think Shark Night is a lot of fun. It's not the best shark movie in the world, but it is a lot of fun, and it's kind of like a shark slasher almost, so I really enjoy this one. I think it's pretty cool. All right, next up we've got Alfred Hitchcock. We've got Rear Window Steelbook. This is a beautiful steelbook. They've released a lot of his films on 4K recently, and like I said, I'm a big fan of Rear Window. I think it's a great movie. I really like Disturbia. It's kind of a remake without being a remake, but that's kind of for my generation, I guess, if that makes sense. But yeah, Rear Window is a fun one. I am working on putting together a Hitchcock Top 5 ranking live stream for next month in November. Well, I guess this is the end of September, so that would be November. But yes, Rear Window Steelbook, that would definitely go on the list. Next up, we have got Dragged Across Concrete. S. Craig Zahler, my favorite director at the moment. Bone Tomahawk and Brawl in Cell Block 99 are both also incredible. So yes, a big fan of Dragged Across Concrete. Huge fan of this movie. But honestly, compared to his other two films, Bone Tomahawk would be my second favorite, and Brawl in Cell Block 99 my first favorite. He's violent. He's just great writer. He just keeps me completely captivated. I absolutely love him as a film writer and a filmmaker. He is great. He writes his own stuff. He does the score. He's just great. All around great. Favorite director right now. I need more of his movies in my life. Sam Raimi would make the cut because I do like the Spider-Man films. I like the Evil Dead, the original one. I've just recently watched this for the first time. I wasn't a big fan of the sequel. I haven't seen Army of Darkness yet. I didn't like the comedy and silliness and over-the-top just humor in the second one. It didn't work for me, but I think this one was really good, and it's not quite like, I guess, demons and stuff like that. This isn't quite my cup of tea, isn't my style, but I did actually really like The Evil Dead. And I remember watching parts of this about 15, 20 years ago and not really getting through it, not being a big fan. So pretty cool to really enjoy this one upon watching it in its entirety for the first time. So Sam Raimi would make the cut. But yeah, his favorite film of mine is actually For Love of the Game. But yeah, I'm a big fan of The Evil Dead. So I know For Love of the Game gets a lot of hate. That's okay. And then for my ensemble pick, I'm going to go with Steven Spielberg. So Saving Private Ryan, another war film. This is a great movie. It's got a great cast. You got Tom Hanks. You got such a good cast in this. Just some younger actors in there. You even got Vin Diesel in this one. I believe plays a little bit of a part. But yeah, Saving Private Ryan would definitely be on that list. That is my ensemble pick. And that is everything there. For a little shout out, I would definitely add Ben Affleck if I could, Lee Winnell, and also David Cronenberg. And there's a few female directors that I want to watch a lot more of their films. I couldn't quite add them to the list. Catherine Bigelow, Jennifer Kent, and there's a few others. But yeah, Catherine Bigelow, I really like The Hurt Locker, but I don't know if I've seen any of her other films. Point blank, but not many beyond that. Jennifer Kent, I've only seen The Babadook. I have not seen Nightingale, but I really want to, so they would also be honorable mentions. You know, I definitely got to check out some of their other films. But yeah, outside of that, Greta Gerwig I did not like Lady Bird at all, so she would not be on that list as far as this goes. Little Women wasn't bad. I think she directed that. But yeah, she wouldn't go on the list. But anyway, so that is everything for me today. That is my top 25 directors challenge with the ensemble pick. Be sure to stay tuned to my channel. I'm going to be posting a video tomorrow as well for my 31 days of Halloween challenge. I have got that's going to be a long video. I'm working on it. I'm probably going to start recording it very soon and post it. And I'm really excited. It's going to be a busy October for me. A lot of live streams, different things like that. So be sure to stay tuned to my channel. Hit that bell notification if you like my videos and you like my channel, because I'm going to be doing a ton of it for October. You'll probably be seeing me around on other channels as well. I cannot wait. So be sure to stay tuned. And like I said, until next time, have a good one. Be sure to stay tuned. Tomorrow I'll be posting again.